Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So let's talk about all the books my son is going to read for his 7th grade year. Oh my goodness, 7th grade, 2020 through 2021. First, I'm going to show you all the books that we did not finish reading for his during his 6th grade year, but we still studied those events in our history portion of our homeschool, but we just didn't get an opportunity to include the piece of literature that I wanted him to read in effort to truly give him a full picture of what life was like or what was taking place during that time. So those books he's going to include in his 7th grade year. We're still going to touch on those for our history. For his 6th grade year, we did world history, ancient times, and we did U.S. history, pre-colonization through Civil War. We did not discuss every single event for the U.S. history portion, so we're going to go back and make sure we hit every single major event that I wanted to talk to him about, and we're going to finish up our ancient history. We homeschool year round, July all the way through the end of May, maybe the first week of June. So for that first quarter, July, August through September, it's normally finishing up whatever we didn't finish if it was important, because I don't really care about finishing curriculum, but literature, I want him to read. So we're going to finish those. So let me show you what those pieces of literature, what they are. So again, I'm showing you all the ones that we didn't really get to do, but we're going to finish those up between July and September. These are really quick reads, the what is or who was books. He can read those in like 2-3 days. Again, we talked about those things. We did not get to Salem Witch Trials, so that one's going to take about a week and a half for us to dive into. These are all part of the ancients, so we'll finish that. We already dived into Civil War, but he loves these interactive history adventure books. We're going to watch the movie, read the play. These two books he will read side by side. As he reads one chapter of Slave Girl, he will read one chapter of Slave Boy. That goes together. Those are quick reads. This one may take a bit longer. This one may take about 3 weeks for him to finish, but he's super excited about reading that one. This one here, we may have like 10-15 pages left in that one. And for Amina's voice, this has a book report that I'm assigning him. So this will probably take about 2 weeks to read and complete. We already read a few chapters in that. Now let's look at all the books that he will be required to read this year. This book right here will require an essay. This book will require an essay. That book will require an essay. And when I say essay, it's going to be either a comparison essay, compare and contrast. It'll be a narrative, expository. It'll be a persuasive. We're going to focus really heavily this year on essay writing. So with the books that I chose, he's literally going to have those types of writings associated with it. I'm super excited for this book here, Lord of the Flies. I remember reading this in like 7th or 8th grade, and I fell in love. So I'm super excited about that. And Lord of the Flies will require an essay. The Giver will require an essay. And we're going to watch the movie. Everybody's singing this book. Roll of Thunder, Hear Me Cry will require an essay. And it also will probably require an essay in the form of a persuasive or argumentative essay. Buddy, Not Buddy will require an essay. This book, The Call of the Wild, will not require an essay. Number the Stars will require an essay. Wrinkle of Time will require an essay. Walk Two Moons will require an essay. And for all the books that I'm saying will require an essay, he will have 2 to 3 weeks to read the book, and then he will have 1 to 2 weeks to do or to complete his essay. Let me show you the last book before I say that. Where the Red Fern Grows will require an essay. And Esperanza Rising will require an essay and will be a complete book study with this one. Lord of the Flies will also not only require an essay, but we're going to do a book study. A book study just dives in a little deeper. We ask questions. He'll have a project. He will probably have some type of think piece or analysis that's associated with it. I will pull out some vocabulary words. We will pull out different pieces of conflict or different issues that are taking place within the book. And Number the Stars will probably also be a book study. And I think I had The Call of Wild. I think I had this book as well. Identified as a book study in my notes. I know I had like 5 books that are book studies. Okay. Another book study that we are doing is Abraham Lincoln. This one is From the Good and the Beautiful. We're doing the actual book study with that. This should take, how many lessons is there? We're not doing every piece of this. Like if there are any art pieces like this right here, if there are any art pieces, I'm not going to have him memorize their poems or memorize their, whatever they have here for memorization. We're not going to do every single thing within this book study, but I think it's actually pretty good. So we're actually going to take about maybe a month and a half to do this. More than likely between the Thanksgiving and Christmas break, we'll go ahead and complete this book study here. But what was I going to say? Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. What was I going to say? But so those are all the books that we are going to read for this upcoming school year. It's a lot of books, but in the 7th grade, this is where we are hitting hard, guys. We are hitting hard on analysis, critical thinking, reading, essay writing, writing projects. I don't like to do writing prompts. And our vocabulary words, our grammar lessons and stuff will all be inclusive within these. And in terms of history, because we are moving from pre-colonization, Civil War, and then right into Reconstruction, I may have some other books that I may pull in when we get to Reconstruction. But in terms of Reconstruction, that's where I have a lot of books that focus more on Chinese labor and focuses more on slavery and the fact that, all slaves weren't just slaves. They had some free slaves that did some really good things. And we're going to talk about revolts, and we're going to talk about some of the accomplishments of African Americans during that time. So yeah, lots of good stuff this year. And again, I'll do a separate video that focuses on our multicultural literature, and that will focus in on our Black history, African American literature, African literature, and all of that wonderful, great, goodness type of stuff. So I hope this video was interesting. Oh, okay. I remember what I was going to say. So in terms of English language arts and writing, although what I'm doing is I'm teaching writing through literature. So through the process of literature analysis and literary analysis, I am going to teach him all the ins and outs in terms of expository writing, compare and contrast, writing a narrative, persuasive essays, argumentative essays, and all the other types of essays that are out there. We're going to learn the process of writing through the process of reading good pieces of literature. Okay, so for the 6th grade year, we focused on writing, but it wasn't a lot of essay writing. It was very much so creative writing and a little bit of essay writing. But for the 7th and 8th grade year in our homeschool, we have something called writing intensive workshops, which is 2 years, 1 year 7th, 1 year 8th. They both count for high school credit in our homeschool. That's where we really dive in and we hit it hard in those areas. And he's ready. I think he's ready. I know he's ready. He's excited. The goal is to become published by the end of 8th grade or during 9th grade, to write his first little book and become published based on what we're learning. But again, we're learning the process of writing during these intensive workshops through literature while reading good literature, rather than sitting there teaching him the mechanics of writing and how he's supposed to do it in 3 paragraphs, 5 paragraphs, how many sentences go in a paragraph. I don't want to do it like that. We touched on that during his 5th and 6th grade year, very surface, but I want to teach the concepts and teach the how-tos through this process. Now, in terms of other types of writing, like your what do I mean by other types of writing? Not other types of writing, but in terms of like English language arts, reading comprehension, and grammar, and spelling, and vocabulary, all of those are going to be a part of our literature. We can pull out vocabulary words. We can work on spelling. We can do dictation. We can do copy work through our literature and through other books that we're going to read that correlate more to those soft skills. So finance and character development. We have books that we're going to read on those and talk about, so I can pull those things from there. During Bible study, I can pull those things like your copy work, your dictation, your memorization, stuff like that. I can pull that from that area. So we have a lot going this year in terms of our English language arts. So I will do another video that will focus more on what we're doing for English language arts, what are some of the resources and what curriculum we're actually going to use for his 7th and 8th grade year for the writing intensive workshops that I'm doing for him. So I'll dive into that at a later date. I don't want to make this video too long. It's probably going to be about 15 minutes anyway. But okay, y'all. Thank you for watching. Leave me a comment. And as always, be blessed. Keep homeschooling on. Remember, be flexible. You may not get through it all. You may plan perfectly. You may plan to the T, but be flexible. Lean and bend towards your child's interest. And if they are not interested in whatever you have planned, it's okay. Just allow yourself to lean back and let them lead you down a path of whatever they're interested in, because I promise you, you can circle back around and bring in whatever topics or plans that you originally had. You just have to be a little bit or bring in some creativity in doing so. All right? No stress. I know it's a stressful time, but let's not allow homeschool to create more of a stress for us. All right? All right, y'all. Until next time, make it a great day. Bye.